Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to another day of Corsair Summer 2013 action. I am LD, your host, your caster for this evening. Will be a solo cast for this game. Winter might be joining me later on. God's missing in action. Probably at a bar, getting drunk, because that's what Australians do. Just kidding. I'm sure Gods has something to attend to, but it's Fnatic versus Kaipi. This one, a best of 3. Winner of this match will be first place in Group B. There are a total of 16 teams competing in this event, 4 groups of 4. That's how they've been divided up, and the top 2 from each group will advance into your playoffs. The playoffs being a double elimination, 8-team bracket. All matches in the group stage are best of 3. So, Fnatic or Kaipi, one of these teams will have to win 2 out of the next 3 games, possibly, to advance. These teams did match up pretty recently, and Fnatic took down Kaipi 2-0, so looks like Fnatic has the upper hand on them as of late, but of course anything can happen, as they're both two pretty solid teams. For Kaipi, it seems a lot of their strength relies in RTZ snowballing. At least that was the case yesterday. They were playing somewhat inferior competition, I suppose you could say, but still, it is a team that relies heavily on him to make big plays, as well as Bone 7 to a lesser extent. Their off lane, their side lane solo, and they'll be getting some signature heroes here. The Bone 7 Bat Rider, one of his strongest. Definitely the hero that I've seen him play with the most success. I've only cast this team maybe 5 or 6 times, but the Bat Rider has certainly been one of his signature heroes. The Puck for RTZ, solid, stable, potentially dominant laners, heroes who, once they get a Blink Dagger, are very hard to deal with. Great, reliable lockdown, and a nice lineup to deal with the Naga Siren too, because they have so much burst damage and the instant silence from Puck. If you do catch this Naga, you can actually burst her down before she can do anything. Whereas some other initiators, when they try to go in on Naga, you can't stop her from getting off the Song of the Siren, the Mirror Image, and then during that time her teammates are able to TP in, she's able to stall, and the fights can, and often do, turn around. So, with that being said, that shouldn't be the case this game. If RTZ has that start he's hoping for. Fnatic on the dire side in this best of 3, Kaipi on the Radiant. And for the time being, we'll take a look at the total draft here. The big picture is Fnatic have banned out Treant, Wisp, Rubik. They've picked up Visage and Naga Siren. As for Kaipi, banning out Darkseer, Lifestealer, Keeper of the Light, and selecting Bat Rider and the Puck that I mentioned previously for themselves. We will have to see where they go from here. Kaipi lacking a carry for Eternal Envy, or Yafits, as we've been tongue-in-cheek calling him the past few days. Of course, he played a pretty mean Shadow Fiend yesterday. Do have to give him and Bone 7 a lot of credit. That was a highlight reel combination. We're actually probably going to do a highlight video of that on our YouTube channel, so I won't spoil it, but let me just say he unleashed a pretty sick Requiem of Souls after a nice vacuum initiation. As for Fnatic, they'll go ahead and ban out a Gyrocopter, and having a Visage Naga, the makings of a very strong offensive tri-lane, but some of the European teams have been running Naga solo mid. I have, as you may or may not know, been rather busy casting Asian Dota, so I haven't actually gotten to watch Fnatic themselves play too much lately. Last I watched them, though, they did tend to prefer their split push, get Hani on a mobile ganker, like the Puck, the Storm Spear, Boots of Travel, often his signature item, and then spread the map, go for pickoffs, and slowly and surely outfarm their opponents. Now, we'll see if that's the kind of style they go for this game. With this Naga Siren pick, though, you have the makings of a potentially very strong split push. Just checking the chat here to make sure everything is in order. Thanks for joining me, guys. It's I'm happy to have you guys here. It's exciting to be casting. Always enjoy doing a solo cast once in a while. It gives me a chance to flex my analytical muscles, as it were, and see how much I know about the game. Learn a lot. I'll be learning along with you guys here today, and it should be a real treat. Bane the ban from Kaipi. So now it opens up Fnatic for their next pick, and what do you know? That Bane ban turns out to be rather convenient for them. They select a Lone Druid. So now Fnatic sitting on a Visage, Naga, Lone Druid, a zoo, if I've ever seen one, of a lineup. Lots of illusions, lots of summons / minions to work with for this team. Good push power, tanky. Not the best in terms of lockdown, though. And Kaipi have a Batrider and a Puck, very elusive heroes. You have that Naga net and Song, but they don't have actual stuns, which could pose problems. Puck can still orb and phase shift while netted, and so therefore is not going to be that easy to keep in place. Batrider, not so lucky, but could potentially blink or force staff out, depending on how the farming game goes. But I'm most curious to see, what is Eternal Envy going to play this game?
I speak for the trees.
That's the interesting question for me. They'll select a Nature's Prophet here. Now, I did mention that normally it's a Bone 7 Batrider, but he's also their offlane player. Could it be a jungle 4-position Nature's Prophet or Come With Me? I know that's something Fnatic like to run. I feel this is almost a block pick as much as anything else. Just looking at Kaipi's draft, or rather Fnatic's draft, having Visage, Naga, Lone Druid, if you also get a Nature's Prophet, your ability to split push, spread the map, and just out-farm your opponents is pretty obscene. So, selecting a Nature's Prophet denies that to Fnatic. It, however, does give Kaipi a rather greedy draft. 2 heroes that need to farm Blink Daggers, and Puck and Batrider. Minimal physical damage, and when you're against Naga and Lone Druid, heroes that are very naturally tanky, you do want quite a bit of physical DPS to bring them down in the mid-game. Dem deeps, as Luminous would say. Fnatic, now they'll work on their 4th pick here. A very deliberate draft, a deliberate pace for both teams. And it gives me a chance to shamelessly plug the Beyond the Summit Courier. If you haven't heard yet, Elgato is in the Dota 2 store. She is, I believe, $11.99. I do want to mention that if you buy one, it supports us directly. It also is a permanently evolving courier, meaning as long as the courier is selling and doing well, we will release not just particle effects, but brand new skins. There's a personal plan or hope for mine is that we'll do a Mega Man type armored cat, basically. I'm not. It seems good in my head. I'm not sure if it'll be good in practice, but it's definitely going to support us. Also, if you buy the tournament ticket, you can get views for any tournament we cast, not just for the Corsair tournament, not just for the Alienware Cup, but for any event we cover that has a ticket. And eventually, there probably will be some free tickets too, as we'll look to do events that rely on just selling items associated with our brand rather than putting a price on the tickets. But that's another story for another day. Fnatic now will select an Outworld Devourer. Did I mention that Kaipi's being a bit greedy? Because Fnatic is being quite a bit greedy themselves. Visage, Naga, Lone Druid, OD. They don't have a single, what I would call sort of a get-shit-done hero on their team. They don't really have that one hero that just starts the fights, controls the map, whereas Kaipi have Bat and Puck. I'm a little worried for Fnatic, but they have very strong laning. Lone Druid, a 1v1 lane dominator. Outward Devourer, or OD, a 1v1 lane dominator. OD should be able to beat this Puck with ease, and I imagine that's why Kaipi, or rather why Fnatic selected him. Arteezy is a very strong solo mid, has a lot of potential, and has had some spectacular plays, but Puck versus OD is a nearly unwinnable matchup, no matter how good you are, unless the OD has no clue what he's doing, and obviously Fnatic are quite a bit better than that. So I like this OD pick if they can just not give up kills. If they start losing a lane, though, it gets problematic. Lina now selected by Kaipi. The reason that it gets problematic for them is if they start giving up kills, they don't really have a great lineup to defend towers in this game. OD has no AoE, Lone Druid no AoE, Naga Siren has Riptide. That's really their only counter push. And Kaipi now with a Prophet have a decent ability to push towers, but the big thing is just when Bat and Puck have a good start, they get Blink Daggers, and then you are hard-pressed to stay near the tower to defend it. So I'm a bit worried for Fnatic if they fall behind. They'll shore up their AoE quite a bit by selecting a Jakiro as their final pick. Kaipi actually banned out the Nyx Assassin, and Fnatic banned out the Spectre. And we're going to see a Shadow Feed pick from Kaipi. We might see Yafit make his return here today. I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. Game 1 about to get underway. Kaipi versus Fnatic in a best of 3. This one should be a doozy. Kaipi, as mentioned, on the Radiant side. Fnatic on the Dire. Kaipi only having one true support hero here. It's going to be the Lina, and as I expected or suggested, it's going to be the Come With Me Nature's Prophet. I mentioned their draft is greedy, but so too, I wouldn't say Fnatic's is greedy, although it's not greedy in the sense that they have tons of heroes that need farm. It's more that they have a certain kind of hero that needs farm, and that kind of hero is carry heroes. Outworld Devourer, Naga to a lesser extent, and then definitely Lone Druid. Mainly just DPS carries. Just wanted to double check Dota TV audio. Should be good to go. It's nice not to be cast on the perfect world server, since it seems the quality is generally pretty good outside of them. But yeah, Fnatic don't have that one hero that just kind of moves around and controls the map. Kaipi, as I mentioned, have two potentially. It'll be a Bone 7 Bat Rider. And we can actually introduce our players now. We'll have a quick disconnect from some of our observers. The players have not given a reason for the pause just yet. But on the side of Kaipi, on the Radiant, they are looking to get a win here. They did lose to Fnatic 0-2 in their last showdown. Eternal Envy on the puck, but I imagine he'll be swapping with Arteezy here in just a second. Bone 7 playing the Bat Rider. Pylai Die on the Lina. We have Arteezy on the Shadow Fiend, at least for now. Come With Me on the Nature's Prophet. 4-position Nature's Prophet for them. As for Team Fnatic, we'll have a No-Tail Visage. Micro Skills out the wazoo. Let's hope. Fnatic, Hani going to be handling the Outworld Devourer. In the capable hands of Era will be the Naga Siren. Fly, Myarachna playing the Jakiro. And last but not least, it's Trixie on the Lone Druid. Lots of opportunities for Fnatic to showcase their micro here, not just from No-Tail, but also from Era as well as Trixie. So we'll take a look at the lanes a bit more closely. For Fnatic, Visage, Twin-Headed Dragon, or Jakiro, as well as Naga. That's a clear tri-lane for them. Probably an aggressive tri-lane. As for Fnatic, Hani and Trixie will be most likely taking those two solo lanes. I anticipate an OD mid and a Lone Druid safe lane. They want to get this OD matched up 1v1 against the puck. The Lone Druid ideally should lane against the Bat Rider, but can do pretty well against any of these heroes. Should do fine against Shadow Fiend, Puck, or a Prophet. It probably will be a Jungle Prophet, though. And on the side of Kaipi, their lanes are a bit more mysterious, but I would expect a solo mid Shadow Fiend just to try and dodge the tri-lane of Fnatic. Because if Shadow Fiend goes safe lane, we'll be in a lot of trouble. And maybe that's why we've seen Eternal Envy take up the puck. Arteezy is generally the mid player, so even though I don't view it as much of an Eternal Envy hero, it's not something he's really known for playing. Just Arteezy being the mid player and not wanting Shadow Fiend to be against that aggressive tri-lane. Very high kill potential. It looks like that solo mid Shadow Fiend is actually going to happen. So Eternal Envy is the puck, the most elusive hero on their team outside of the Bat Rider. Will be heading bottom, and I like this choice a lot. They've anticipated the aggressive tri-lane, but they might be wrong about it because Fnatic has sent 5 heroes to the top lane, perhaps content just to get a lot of farm and play a bit more for the mid to late game here. So Eternal Envy on the puck, heading safe lane. We've got Pylai Die on the Lina, doing a bit of tree clearing. We'll probably look to do some early pulls in the mid lane, depending on the creeps you get. So it can be rather difficult to do it. Arteezy, the solo mid Shadow Fiend. Bone 7 going to be playing his signature All-Flame Bat Rider. And Fnatic lurking in their jungle now. 5 heroes defensively grouped up. Kaipi didn't really send their whole team to clear the jungle. Just Pylai Die to clear out some trees, and then Eternal Envy roaming through. Wards have been deployed for Kaipi. Just a simple observer ward to spot any sort of movement from the aggressive tri-lane. Unfortunately, I'm not sure they're going to find one. Although right as I say that, Fnatic starts to make their move. They send the Visage towards bottom. Fly still hiding out in his own jungle, the captain for this squad, and also a martial arts expert. He knows some mean Krav Maga, that one. He's pretty jacked as well. Actually, in the end, they're going to settle onto a solo mid Naga Siren. And I did touch on this in the beginning. His Naga Siren's actually a pretty decent solo mid. Very high base armor, starting with the poor man's shield. And no matter who you lane against, it will be hard to get last hits. Arteezy, that solo mid Shadow Fiend, he's been pulled as well. Tangos, Healing Salve, and a Wraith Band. But matching up against a Naga, even 1v1, could be troublesome. Riptide does a lot of damage. Shadow Fiend is squishy, and it won't even be a 1v1. No-Tails here as well. The better creep block will go to Arteezy. This is very important for a mid Shadow Fiend. You want to start on your high ground. It limits your vulnerability to the early ganks, the early aggression, but Arteezy off the bat going to struggle to find some last hits. The first deny to Era. We'll try and keep a close eye on that, but we'll also try and look at some of these other lanes. Fly Myarachna, or Fly. Zoni Mode 7 out of that off lane. Could just go jungle as the Bat Rider. We'll see if he looks to do that. It seems like they wanted to do some mid pulling. And if they are doing the mid pulls, which makes sense, you want to keep the Lina close to the Shadow Fiend, because Shadow Fiend very vulnerable against the dual lane. Speaking of that, well, he's been grave chilled. There's no level 2 yet. so they can't make it go. But if Arteezy is farming out this far when Era hits level 2, it could very potentially be our first blood. We'll have to keep a close eye on Pylai Die. So, of course, the downside is if he's here busily pulling the creeps and Bone 7 wants to jungle, then they're splitting that experience quite a few ways. Arteezy taking a lot of damage mid lane just from a Riptide and a simple Soul Assumption. It's just a very potent burst damage dual lane for Fnatic. They definitely have the edge here in the early stages. That Shadow Fiend needs quite a bit of experience and levels before he can start to dish out the damage. Safe lane, Puck for Eternal Envy, off to a good start against Trixie. This is a matchup that Trixie should be able to win. EE has not been pulled, just starting with a bunch of stats and quite a few tangos himself. And, well, as for Arteezy, having a hard time here, only sitting at 2-0. That safe lane, Outworld Devourer doing quite a bit of work, but Arteezy has been netted mid. There's no Riptide mana, so it's simple harassment for the time being. Pylai Die struts in, looks to discourage any future aggression. Meanwhile, Bone 7 has been doing some jungling. The Lina did manage to stack this camp, so efficient play from Kaipi, something that they really prioritize. Who wouldn't when you have Eternal Envy on your team? He'll make sure you do. Stacking the big camp, can now actually farm that big camp if you'd like, but for the time being, just trying to do some mid pulls. I think he'll be a bit too late on this one. No, actually just gets the last volley of auto attacks. Will be able to pull it back. Well done by Bone 7. And we'll deny a little bit of experience here. Of course, for a Bat Rider, you don't really need to mid pull. This is more just to help out Arteezy. In fact, I think it would be faster if he was just killing them himself, because he could just be stacking Napalm, Fire Flying, and at level 2 you can kill the big camp. But we'll probably see him stack it once or twice more before he goes for it. And in the meantime, is doing a nice job of giving Arteezy an easy start in this lane. Come with me, jungling, 4 position Nature's Prophet. I believe he's upgraded the Courier. No, still a Walking Courier for this team. And it's going to go for an early hand of Midas. So both teams playing rather greedy. Early on, gold experience very even. Only a 200 difference favoring Fnatic. Minimal, to say the least. All eyes should be on the mid lane. There's your net on Pylai Die. Now in a potentially sticky situation. He throws out a stun, but in comes your Soul Assumption. Low, but not out of the fight yet. Fly's joined it as well. Arteezy on the run. Riptide cooling down. Remember, it's only got a 10-second cooldown, but Arteezy bottles up. Won't be enough. Fnatic Arrow snipes the first blood with one last Riptide. Meanwhile, Come With Me's joined the fight. He's teleported towards the dire tier 1 tower. Will throw away potentially his own life. No, gets the no-tail kill and looks to get out. Bone 7 joining the fray as well. Everybody and their mother. It's a party in the middle lane. Except Eternal Envy hasn't been invited, so he'll pause the game here. Actually appears to be experiencing a bit of lag. We'll have a quick unpause. And we will resume. Kaipi. Eternal Envy's picked up his boots, but the big story is that they almost gave up quite a few kills mid. 3 heroes that will have to go heal. Arteezy giving up the first blood. They get the retaliation kill, and it goes to the Prophet, which means with his early Gloves of Haste, the Midas will be somewhat faster, but when you're forced to TP mid and walk home, that gold that you get from the kill is mostly negated. Bone 7 continuing to stack the big camp, efficient from him, even though he joined the fight mid. We'll go right back into the jungle. It's basically a quad lane mid, because Prophet can always TP it up. They're going in right now, and Barteezy's low. He is going to eat a net, another ice pad, and goes down. A very aggressive solo mid, this Arteezy. We've seen it from him before. Unfortunately, he's not prepared for the tri-lane that Fnatic has to can bring to bear. It's a lot of firepower. It's a lot of long-range lockdown when they are punishing this young and hot-headed player. Creep wave will push in bottom lane. Eternal Envy farming pretty well, 21-3, but the lead farmer is that Obsidian Destroyer in the safe lane for Hani. Nice job being done by Trixie on the bottom lane. He's doing a nice, just a decent job of disrupting these pulls, harassing Pylai Die on the Lina, who has managed to hit level 3. Looks like I missed a kill top. My apologies for that. The Nature's Prophet will go down. Hani, as well as Era, on the move there. Era rotating. He went to check the top rune. Then he decided to head top, and they caught the Nature's Prophet. Good anticipation, expecting that he would come to defend the tier 1, and he pays with his life. That'll delay the Midas, only sitting on Gloves of Haste, as well as a teleport scroll for the time being. Back into the jungle goes Arteezy. He'll find a creep camp here. The ideal ones for a Shadow Fiend. Lots of small creeps, one raise, doing tons of damage to each. But I am a bit concerned for Kaipi. They're giving a very strong start to Hani's OD. Already he sits on a Null Talisman, Tranquil Boots, and 900 gold. Your lead farmer this game. A hero who can really shut down a Bat Rider, a Puck in the fight. If Puck or Bat Rider does manage to farm a Blink, Bone 7 well on his way with 1,000 gold already. They can still be completely neutralized by a well-timed Astral Imprisonment. With this kind of start, Hani will be tanky enough to live through a lot of punishment. And he's being left to a 1v1 matchup. They just don't have anyone who can deal with him 1v1. You can throw the trance at him, but when he's already got Tranquil Boots, he sits on 10 armor. OD with surprisingly high base armor for an intelligence hero, plus the 3 from the Tranquils. And constantly pressuring Come With Me out of the lane. Haste Rune for Fly. He'll pick it up bottom rune. He'll actually wait. Then looks like the Naga Siren's going to be the one to grab it. And Era could look to get really active on the map. Remember, Prophet has been jungling. They know Bone 7's in the jungle. At times, it's been a double, even a triple jungle lineup from this team. And this Haste Rune could do a lot of work. Arteezy forced to sit very far back mid. Has managed to secure 25 creeps for himself, which is not too shabby, all things considered. He's been up against a dual lane, a tri-lane at times, but all he can do is throw out the long-range rays, the C rays in Warcraft 3, the E rays if you're using grid keys nowadays, and CS that way. If he walks into last hit and he gets netted, he's almost certainly dead, even from full HP. Envy hits level 7, and Kaipi just continue to play defensively. They're really reliant on these Blink Daggers, and that's what they'll have to farm up. Bone 7, he'll head back to the base, but up to 1,700 gold mid lane. We'll have a ping come out, Sentry Ward deployed in bottom lane. They've dropped a coil on Trixie, but in comes Fly, timely teleport reaction, and Pylai died, driven back, ushered away. Fnatic on the ball here, not going to give up any easy kills. Trixie, having already hit level 6, is no easy bone to chew down on here. And Fnatic continue to farm it up. Arteezy, all he needs to do is continue stacking the small camp. I would like to see his team stack as many of their neutral camps as possible, especially on the Radiant. It's possible to stack 2, even 3 camps at once if you're timely at it. And they have Alina, a fantastic hero for doing it. Era's going to pop a Haste Rune mid and ushers Arteezy back. He surges towards him. He's looking for a go. If he had level 6, he'd probably pop the Song of the Siren now. Completely worth it to find a kill this early. And Bone 7, worried about some oncoming aggression, will sit near the mid lane. He'll probably go to stack the big camp, and that might be when this Naga Siren looks to strike. Arteezy still farming, playing defensively. And we head towards the mid game with about a 1,500 gold lead, a 250 experience lead for Kaipi. For Fnatic, rather. As I mentioned earlier, Kaipi, their big items to get are the Blink Daggers. For Fnatic, they don't really need huge items to engage and take some fights. Arteezy wants to go for a double damager in top, but the Familiar's already secured. No tail level 6 and a dual lane mid at 8 minutes in. That's a really fast level 6, especially on the Dire side, and it's because they've had 3 kills already. And Era's been checking runes. No tail actually I think he's out leveling Era. No, slightly behind, but very, very close. The nice thing about this dual lane mid, they've given both heroes their level 6, and now with Familiars and Song of the Siren, you can use Song of the Siren to set up an easy Familiar stun. They have great long-range initiation potential, and Bone 7 still lurks mid. He's just picked up his Blink Dagger. Net goes on a Pylai die near his own tier 1 mid as the Radiant. Era dropping fast. There's your raise. He will fall. The Visage just find the return kill on the Lina. But Arteezy gets one, and he gets it on the Naga. The trade for No Tail is cleaning up the Lina. You have to say that's a win for Kaipi. The Batrider Blink is online now. Lasso was used, but he can continue to farm and work his way towards his next item. Eternal Envy, not so close to his blink. He's stopped off for the treads as well as the Null Talisman. Or excuse me, yeah, he didn't start with this Null Talisman. He was not pulled at all, but he has picked one up. So he spent about a little over 1,500 gold or so to pick up some utility items. Actually more like 1,600 to 1,700. Now he can go towards the Blink Dagger. He might even need a bottle though. These Familiars are proving to be a huge nuisance. Well-timed phase shift allows him to get out of trouble in the bottom lane. Fnatic were on the hunt, but while this is happening, they're pressuring mid, and Arteezy has abandoned the lane for the time being. Knows that it's very dangerous to be here. Even though the Familiars were spotted bottom, the Visage can resummon them in about a minute and a half. For the meantime, though, they'll patrol this bottom lane. They'll keep Pylai die off the creeps. And all the while, Hani continues to farm. Now our lead CS score for the game, 70 and 31. Really accelerating his farm. Oblivion Staff already picked up. It'll be an Orchid Rush for him. A fantastic choice against a Puck. The main hero that he'll be wanting to shut down. Of course, he could always go for a Refresher Orb, but to rush that early isn't really ideal. Familiar stuns. 1, 2. They'll both connect. Now the Lone Druid Bear hunts for an entangle. The teleport is required. Bone 7 will teleport to the Radiant bottom tower, and in comes Era. Hasted up. He jumps in. He gets lasted. He gets pulled towards the tower. Arteezy delivers the nukes. Raise 1 only required, and they bring him down. While that was happening, No Tail did find the Lina behind the tier 1. But, once again, Arteezy finds a kill and doesn't die. Now has his power treads as Wraithband. continuing to farm. Eternal Enemy's rotated mid. He'll take over the most dangerous lane on the map at this stage of the game. And while that's happening, Ani looks to push the top lane in.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Overall, about 1,000 gold lead for Fnatic on the Dire side. Kaipi trailing by 1,500 experience, however. Or leading by 1,500 experience. Fnatic trailing in that department. Kaipi have their first Blink Dagger on the bat, and it's an important item for them. Remember, they are running the Jungle Nature's Prophet, but come with me, 11 minutes into the game, has still not managed to complete it. He'll only finish it now. Considering that he's rushing it, it's a bit late, to say the least. And that one death not helping him out. Hani gets Dream Coil top lane. Laguna Blade deployed. And that Obsidian Destroyer, that Outworld Devourer that was having such a good start, will now be denied. Gives up a kill that he probably could have avoided. There were quite a few heroes off the map, but just got a little bit overconfident. And pays with his life, and in comes a rotation from Kaipi. They're going to backstab mid. Arteezy leading the way. He'll find some familiars. He wants to kill them off. He won't get them, though. Timely micro from No-Tail. Stuns both. And Kaipi are going to camp these familiars. The Raze has come to clear the creep wave. They want these familiars. No-Tail, no resummon available. He just wants the gold. Give me your gold. Give me your gold. Your sweet meats, your beautiful women as well, if you please. Well, he'll only get the gold for now, but he'll hope for the sweet meats later. A Blink Galasso on Era mid lane. Kaipi are diving Fnatic's tier 1. This Radiant team is going in. And out come the Razes. Kaipi forced to back off. Trixie joining the fight. A net on Arteezy under the shadow of the enemy tier 1. There's your ult. Hani delivers a Sanity's Eclipse that does an outrageous amount of damage. Now Bone 7 to fall. Kaipi, one by one, into the meat grinder they go. They're all dropping. They lose 3. A buyback from Arteezy and immediately returns to the mid-safe camp, small camp, to start farming. And Fnatic might look to go Roche here. We'll have to see. No-Tail sends a familiar towards the bottom lane. Just a scout for the time being. They'll back off. You really do have to question Kaipi diving quite that far. They didn't have the Eternal Envy combo. No coil there. No silence. A big commitment from them. He still doesn't have his Blink Dagger. And you're diving such a strong defensive team. Fnatic didn't even have to use Song of the Siren there. Naga had it, didn't die to the lasso, chose not to use it. But after the buyback from Arteezy, they'll get a tier 1 mid, so all is not bad in Kaipi lands. Bone 7 continuing to farm, working now towards a 4-staff. The Blink Dagger's been up for a while on his Batrider, but he'll need more items to take this game, especially with the Eternal Envy Puck not having the most explosive start. 1-0-0, not farming poorly, but he's gone for the standard Puck build, the Treads, the Bottle, the Wand, the Null Talisman. And when you go this build, it does delay your Blink Dagger quite a bit. Getting all that additional regen and not being the mid hero means, well, he's gone for all this regen, but he can't really control the runes. So a Bottle, a necessary item if you go Treads, but we did see the other day a safe lane Puck who went for Arcane Boots. And frankly, I think a safe lane Puck Arcane Boots build is not bad. It leaves you a bit squishy, and Bottle's always decent on Puck, but I still feel in this game, you need that Blink Dagger as quickly as possible, because without Eternal Envy having a Blink, they're just not forcing aggressive fights. And all the while, Fnatic continue to farm for some really scary DPS items. Even game now in terms of gold. Kaipi, after taking the tier 1 mid, have reset the scoreboard, but they are leading by a tower. So effectively, more or less 1,000 gold lead for Fnatic once the tower scores equalize. They'll push the bottom lane now. They've got a medallion up on No-Tail. Fnatic, this Dire squad, will start to make their move. There's your Warcry, the bear working away on the tower. Kaipi just pushing the top lane in response. They're going for a trade here. The Radiant trading for the top tower of the Dire. The Dire strike first, though, and with familiars as well as Lone Druid Bear, you'd expect that they are the better pushing squad. In comes a multiple teleport, an army of teleports. 4 heroes descend on the top lane, and they're going to find Come With Me. Oh my, he can't be happy about this one. He will get dual breath, he will get ice pass, he will go down. That's what you call hate. That was some serious hate. Quad teleport top, but I don't feel it's wasted because Fnatic can immediately just push a tier 1 off of this. Prophet being dead means can't use his treants to push the other lanes out, and I don't think Kaipi will actually be able to trade. They know 4 TPs were just used, so this is a good opportunity for Kaipi to push out the bottom lane, push in the middle lane, and try to trade. But ultimately, I expect Fnatic will take a tier 1 here, and all Arteezy will do is chip away at a tier 1 bottom. There's no glyph. We will have to see. Maybe Arteezy can push fast enough. Max Soul's up for him and working furiously. Now he's got some help from Come With Me. Kaipi actually will be the ones to take a tier 1 first. Come with me respawning, immediately teleporting bottom.
Dire's bottom
You would
tower
think the
has
team with the
fallen.
Lone Druid and the Familiars could push faster, but apparently not.
Dire's under
Fnatic
attack.
working on this tier 1. They've got to be a bit
Radiant
careful. Eternal Envy
structures are
close to his Blink Dagger. Does not manage the phase shift, dodge the net. Now gets caught. Hani comes in, drops the ult. Sanity's Eclipse to the face, and he will go down. Orchid already picked up. And Eternal Envy starting to feel eternally sad. That's another death for him. He now sits at 1-1-0. Actually, sorry, not another death. I thought he had more this game, but he's been spending a lot of time retreating to Fountain. So another trip to the Fountain at any rate. They'll find a tier 2 bottom, though. Kaipi getting some decent trades. Come with me. Didn't bother to use his Midas, but he'll go for it now. Unfortunately, he's teleported into Hani. Oh, this is so unfortunate. Hani says, thanks for the snack. I will enjoy this. Oh, come with me. That is unfortunate. Pretty bold. I gotta say, I think that was a bit ill-advised. You just saw Fnatic pushing as 4 top lane, and now they're off the map. You should expect at least 1 or 2 farming the jungle, but... Well, your standard profit play, your natural reaction is you push 1 lane, then you go farm the other side of the map, and you expect the enemy team to retaliate. Fnatic, not cooperating, not playing how you would expect. And now Fnatic will work on Roshan. On this Dire side, they have the advantage. They've got the early medallion, a No-Tails Visage, Era, Trixie, and the Familiars all going to work. Roshan dropping fast. Outworld Devourer's orb, his arcane orb is pure damage, does affect Roshan, makes it a very easy kill. And the good news for Kaipi is they picked up this Bone 7 Force Staff, and he's done that before EE has picked up his Blink Dagger. Finally, he'll secure it. 17 minutes in, a rather slow Blink, I have to say. Only sitting at 67 CS and 1-1-0. It's fine to have a delayed Blink if you're making big plays for your team, if your other heroes are farming incredibly well. It feels slightly late, but still, Kaipi looking decent overall. They lead by 500 gold. They trail by 1,500 experience. They do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 2-tower advantage overall. So a bit of a tower advantage there, and that does explain the gold differential. So Fnatic definitely winning in terms of the CS war across the board for their team. Some of their heroes are a bit poorer, but they have the higher creep score overall. Not the highest farmers, but the highest average, for sure. Now Fnatic should probably look to take a big fight. They've got an Aegis up on Hani. He has the Orchid I mentioned earlier, sitting just around 100 intelligence. And he's an Obsidian Destroyer, an Outworld Devourer. God, I just cannot get those names right for the life of me. Warcraft 3 for life, I'll tell you. Arteezy is an agility hero, though. And even this Lina sitting at 49 intelligence. Come with me. The Nature's Prophet sitting at 48. Basically, you could say he's got 50 more intelligence than the enemy intelligence heroes. And that means about 550 damage before reduction. The Sanity's Eclipse does have... oh, sorry, it's a 9 multiplier. Sorry. The 11 is for... I believe that's if you get the Aghanim Scepter. But still, 9 times 50. That's about a 450 damage nuke. Plus you throw in the Soul Burn. And then you factor magic reduction. It is going to hurt. It'll be most likely over 500 or around that, just for pure burst. And he'll go in on Bone 7 now. But Bone 7 will blink and immediately teleport out. Quick reactions in the top lane. And Kaipi now angle for late game. Fnatic, a pretty strong late game lineup. Trixie on the Lone Druid. This is a hero that can scale well. He did go for a Midas a while ago. He's had it for quite some time. Era, playing more of a utility Naga, but still Ultimate Orb picked up. Could be a Lincoln Sphere. Probably the item when you want to go for this game. If you don't get a Lincoln's and Bat lassos you, Blink Lasso, you don't get off Song of the Siren, he is the crux, the fulcrum of their team fight. Could even be a Manta style, but a Manta style isn't quite as good against Bat's Lasso. It's better against Puck, obviously, because you can remove Puck Silence, which is AoE. Fnatic will clear out their own Ancients on the Dire side and now head back towards the mid lane, but Kaipi are camping and waiting. Eternal Envy and Bone 7, they both look to go in. They've caught No-Tail mid. He was probably microing his Familiars. Micro this, they say. They bring him down. Now the Psalm deployed, and Ice Path will come forth. Catches 2. Macro Pyre as well. Bone 7 and Envy mount in a cloud of flames. And now Fnatic are going to march down mid. Eternal Envy buys back. Dream Coil is online. He wants to fight this. Not a bad buyback from him. And Kaipi will look to split push. They'll look to counter this aggression. Arteezy has managed to farm for BKB. Come with me, a Shadow Blade. And they want to make it go on Hani now. Remember, he's got the Sages of the Immortal. He'll get caught. He can't defensively Astral. He used one on the Shadow Fiend. And now we'll be able to retreat. Hani, well, a wise choice in the end. Could have self-Astraled, bought himself some time, but decided to do some extra damage here. Almost found a kill. Era will find a Haster in top lane, or top rune, and now hasted and double damage available. He'll hunt Arteezy. Arteezy's got a BKB. He can't BKB out of the net. If it comes from Era, Era still giving chase. The bear joins the fray as well. Where's that net? Still waiting. Still waiting. Now it comes. Arteezy will TP out. He didn't want it to be canceled, and now won't be able to escape. He waited for the cavalry to arrive. Nicely played by Era. Fnatic, they'll back off. They've collected a kill, and they'll look to counter the split push. Eternal Envy, that puck who just bought back, was pushing in the middle lane. He pushes the creep wave to the Dire tier 2. Now retreats out and hides in the trees. Still has Dream Coil. Still not feeling his presence this game. 1-2-1. Safe lane puck against a lone druid. Wasn't pulled, but as a safe lane puck with some Lina support, pulling the creep waves, you'd expect that puck to have a bit of a higher impact. Instead, it's Trixie, the off-lane lone druid, his opponent in the laning stage, who leads him substantially here in terms of gold, as well as experience. Sitting at 8,000 gold, compared to Eternal Envy, only 6,400. Now, of course, the lone druid and the puck occupy very different roles. Puck, much more of a ganker, not expected to farm too much, but when you're safe lane, you should probably farm better than that, and more importantly, you should be finding kills. Only 1-2-1. They've got to find a way to get this puck more involved in the game. Bone 7, 0-2-2. They've done a nice job of forcing Fnatic to react, just wasting their time and creating space for their farmers, but I still worry a bit. Fnatic have quite a bit of late game. Kaipi, a great split push lineup. Fnatic a little vulnerable to it at this stage. But if this lone druid and Naga get fat enough, they'll be able to better negate the split push. Fnatic not the most mobile lineup, but they'll lumber towards top as a unit of 4. Trixie, No Tail, as well as Hani grouped up here. And Arteezy's going to push out the middle lane. He's up to 500 gold. We'll see what he goes for after this BKB. This is a game where Manta style could be great against the Naga Siren. You can Manta dodge the net. You have second, or I believe it's 0.75 seconds of invulnerability. Manta not going to be so useful against some of the AoE, particularly the Jakiro, but also nice to get out of lone druids and tangles. That would be a decent option. It's also the ideal split push item. As Arteezy throws out a random and chaotic raise the other direction. Kaipi, they've smoked up. They head towards the bottom tier 2 of the Dire side. Kaipi, of course, being on the Radiant and looking for kills here, potentially. Era hiding on the high ground. Has picked up his Manta. The Aegis about to be reclaimed, and Fnatic playing very defensively, a bit scared even. As well they should be. Bone 7 on the hunt. He's got Firefly. He's been smoked. The smoke about to wear off. He will back up. He was near the Roshan pit. He looked for a kill. Couldn't find it and retreats out. Arteezy heads top now. Well, in the end, just going to continue farming. Just checking chat here to make sure everything's alright. Thanks all for joining me, guys. Great to have you all here. Hope you're enjoying the rather passive Dota so far. 5-14. Fnatic are leading this one. 24 minutes in. Gold experience headed their way. 1,000 gold lead, a 5,000 experience lead. And definitely, for me, the biggest issue is the ward advantage they have. They have fantastic vision. Observer wards just littering the middle lane. Observer wards in their own jungle to spot out. Come with me. Even sentries littered all over the place. He does have 2,200 gold, so come with me. We'll work towards, imagine a Scythe device this game. They have a puck, they have a Bat Rider, but having that global hex is really what they want. To find pickoffs, to accelerate their split push. And Trixie, after going for the Midas and the Phase Boots, will head towards an Radiance. Relic picked up on his own Druid. It could be an Abyssal Blade, but when you're up against Kaipi, this lineup so good at split pushing, you really want to accelerate your own split push. So, Lone Druid Radiance, Naga Manta style, a nice set of items to help keep the lanes pushed out as Fnatic prepares for Roshan number 2. Roshan to respawn in about 2 minutes' time. Eternal Envy deploys a double damager and it looks to push in the bottom lane. He's up to 2,300 gold. He's picked up no new items as of late, just sitting on a Blink Dagger. Farming towards what I imagine will be a Scythe device. Eul Scepter isn't too bad this game if he wants to get one. It's nice against the Lone Druid Bear. You can remove the Radiance from the fights. So we'll see if he wants to go more utility, but I do feel at least one of these heroes, the Prophet or the Puck, definitely needs to work towards a Scythe device. Trixie nearly about to complete that Radiance, and now Kaipi. If there were any doubts before, there aren't now. Prophet with a Shadow Blade and a Midas for Come With Me. He'll pick up a Maelstrom. He'll go full YOLO swag. Split push 420. MLG style Prophet. He wants all the creeps. He'll try to find them. Hala hala get Dawa. Well, it's a long way to go before he gets all the creeps. Only sitting at 140 CS, but both teams really, it's interesting. Fnatic are the team that's somewhat reviled by, at least by Virtus Pro, for their rat Dota, as Virtus Pro rather unaffectionately calls it. They like to split push. They like to try and backdoor racks, or not even backdoor, but just push in the lanes, fight when the enemy team isn't there, avoid direct confrontations as much as possible. Whereas Kaipi is more of just a team that likes to, generally their style has been get Eternal Envy as fat as possible. Farm him until he's 4, 5, 6 slotted on a Phantom Lancer, a Faceless Void, an Anti-Mage, a hard carry. One carry to rule them all, as it were. But this game, very different. They're playing split push. Eternal Envy not on a carry. He's on a puck. He is doing a nice job of keeping these lanes pushed in. And Fnatic still on the defensive. We can take a look at the creep equilibrium, and we can see for the Radiant, the top lane pushed well past the river, past where the tier 1 is for the Dire side, the mid lane towards the Dire tier 2, and the bottom lane nearly at the base. Prophet spamming his ult, Puck pushing in all the lanes, as well as Arteezy farming the jungle. He's picked something up. I believe it'll be a Mantis down. No, he's gone Crystallis. Going for more burst damage here. Decides that he just wants to stand and right click, and it's not a bad way to go because Fnatic have no actual stuns aside from Ice Path. Net, yes, well, they do have the familiars. They have the Naga Net, but the Naga Net, you can still auto attack through that. You're just held in place, and he has a range tier, so it shouldn't affect him too much. And then you look at things like the familiar stuns, not going to affect you while you're BKB'd. So still a very powerful pickup for him. He wants to just basically be an ion cannon. Well, not even an ion cannon, an artillery machine of sorts. Just stand and deliver. That'll be Arteezy's gameplay in this game. And with the Crystallis, he'll start to work towards it. Fnatic prepping for Roshan number 2. They'll deploy sentry wards. They'll enter the pit. Hani now with a completed Scythe of Ice. 28 minutes in. He is your lead farmer, sitting on 11,000 net worth. Getting close to 12,000. Trixie not far behind. 11,000 for him. You try to beat Fnatic at their own game, you're going to make it very hard on yourself. They have the 3 lead farmers, even their Naga Siren. That dual lane, at times tri-lane Naga, is now nearly over the 11k mark. Has a Manta style, has 2,700 gold, and Fnatic will march into the Roshan pit. They've had this Radiance for quite some time, as I mentioned earlier. And that's kept the lanes pushed out as well as they can. Roche will fall in a matter of seconds. The minus armor, the physical damage, and the pure orb. Too much. And a haste turn for Era, and they're going to look to defend this tier 1. Kaipi, grouped up as 4, maybe looking to make a go of this.
Dire's top tower is
But
under
it'll be
attack.
tough to do. There's a diffusal blade for Era. He's just picked it up. Going to help them to fight now. Hani giving chase. Eternal Envy blinking away in the Dire jungle. Kaipi, as I mentioned, may be looking to push this top tower, but they do not want to fight head on. Not while Fnatic has an Aegis. Not when Ace, or rather when Hani. Did I just say AC? Not sure why. Yeah, AC is definitely not in this game, guys. Not when Hani has a Scythe of Ice. He is very, very tanky. If you're just tuning in, it's game 1 of a best of 3. It's the Corsair Summer Tour 2013. And Fnatic are farming. They are currently sitting at a 2k experience lead, even in terms of gold, but having some very hard carries. Bone 7 going for a BKB of his own. It'll be mass BKBs for a lot of these heroes. BKB's been up on Arteezy, the Shadow Fiend. Now, Bone 7 and his Batrider are working towards one. If you get 2 BKBs, then it becomes a bit problematic for Hani. He does have a Scythe of Ice. They have ways to control heroes who are BKB'd, but they don't necessarily have ways to actually kill them during that. Bit lacking on the physical damage for now. Trixie, oh, there's your Son of the Siren. Era's TPing in mid. He wants to catch them retreating. Smart play from him. He will have to pop a haste room before TPing as well. They'll catch one lone straggler. It'll be Pylai Die on that 4-6 position Lina. That's right. When you are supporting 4 carries, you are officially a 6 position. 2 initiators and 2 carries, but nonetheless 4 farmers. And Fnatic, they found 1 kill. They'll look to push, and Kaipi are trying to backstab. Come with me, a Shadow Bladed into the enemy base. He wants to go for a big play. He's going to find a courier. He'll snipe it retreating out and teleport away immediately. Oh, what a play. Come with me. Pops the Shadow Blade, TPs into the enemy base using his teleport skill. That does not break the invis, and then snipes the courier. Well timed, well played. Nothing big on it, but nonetheless, Fnatic being down a courier, can't be happy about that. It's some more gold going Kaipi's way.
Radiant's
And come with me. The 4-position prophet once upon a time is now your lead farmer. Working his way towards the Scythe device now with an ultimate orb picked up. Could even be a Manta if he wants to go full split push, but I feel they need the lockdown. It might be just a bit too much. fnatic, 5 heroes grouped up mid. Full damage soul assumption available, but N0tail won't spam it. He doesn't have anyone in range. Come with me. Spams Treants. Looks to push the bottom lane in. The creeps are at the tower. He won't commit just yet. He's forced 1 TP back. Trixie will be forced to farm. Let the farming wars continue. We have ourselves a very long and passive game. I imagine Merlini wouldn't be too excited about this one. I imagine Bruno, in spite of all his complaints about Eastern Dota, well, Bruno, here's your Western Dota. A lot of farming, at least for this game. fnatic, Kaipi, playing rather passively here. 15-5 your score, 31.5 minutes in. fnatic are leading. They are on the dire side. It's game 1. Both teams searching for their first win. Winner of this best of 3 advances out of Group B. They'll go into the playoffs. Come with me. Now tries to gank the Lone Drew Bear Fly, and it's a rather futile pursuit. The bear will be recalled, return to the fray, and Trixie will march with his bear towards the bottom lane. You guys are cracking me up in the chat. Please, Twitch chat, never change. A rather boring game, but you're giving me quite a bit of entertainment. Kaipi, hunting for potentially a kill here, won't be able to find it. And now we're back to the farm wars. We never left them, guys. Forget the Clone Wars and Star Wars. They ain't got nothing on this game. Kaipi, fnatic. I wouldn't even call it a slugfest. I'd call it a snooze fest, because these teams have no interest in fighting. Both of them farming. It's one of the most passive Dota you'll ever see. Hani has picked up a Boots of Travel on his Outworld Destroyer. Maybe at long last to look to get aggressive. Excuse me. Outworld Devourer. Jesus, these names. Crikey. Crikey. Do Australians actually say crikey? That is a horrible, horrible word. Arteezy farming the neutrals. Kaipi sitting back. They are a bit worried about a gank right now, and we'll take a look at their vision. They are in the dark. They are playing absolutely blind right now. Have 1 ward on the map. It's in the Dire jungle, south of the Dire Hill. But basically no vision at all. Hani, he's found, come with me, a fresh shiny Shadow Blade. Not a fresh shiny Shadow Blade, but a long and overused Shadow Blade. Won't be enough to escape. The Boots of Travel for Hani, first unveiled, will set up a quick kill. He also bought his own dust for this. I believe sold an item, but nothing big. Still sitting on his core items. Now up to 1,100 gold. And for fnatic, 5 heroes grouping up mid, looking to make a play bottom lane. There are no turrets in this game, contrary to what Twitch chat is telling you, my friends. No turrets. And no Nexus. That's definitely not Dota. I think you've been smoking too much. fnatic still working on the bottom tier 1. They've grouped up as a squad of 5, and they want to take this tower. I think they will. No reaction yet from Kaipi. And now a Song of the Siren, followed by a TP. Eternal Envy's blinked into the trees, but he's been caught. Arrow wants to bring him down. He's found him. Eternal Envy, not the best place to blink. Now he'll orb to the right. Can they chase him down? Ice Pest there. They've caught him again. Macro Pyre, Sight Device. It all gets thrown out in a deluge of nukes. And Eternal Envy continues to struggle this game. 1-3-1. Your safe lane Puck. Working towards a Sight Device, but yet to make an impact. In fact, was very close. Just about had it. Had 3,200 gold. You need, I believe, around 3,500. Or is it 3,600? Something along those lines to buy the Sight Device. And unfortunately, with that death, it'll be delayed. Really nice usage of Song of the Siren by Era. He pops the Song of the Siren, then he TPs. Most players will TP and then pop it. But by using it first, it ensures that if you can possibly catch them, you'll be able to with this. Wouldn't even mind seeing a Blink Dagger on him, just to, or even Boots of Travel. But speaking of Blink Daggers, Hani's gonna get one. His favorite items, the Boots of Travel, the Blink Dagger. Who cares if he's Outworld Devourer? He'll pick it up. fnatic pushing in the middle lane. They're working on the creep wave here. It'll fall soon. They've taken to tier 2. Kaipi, they've split pushed all game, but to what end, my friends? To what end? You have to take a fight. You run a Bat Rider, you run a Puck, and you're split pushing. Seems dubious to me. It's a team. It's a lineup that should be looking to fight in the early to mid game. They never were, and not again. Our second missed kill of the game. Pylite Eye gets caught bottom, trapped by the Hani. Boots of Travel spectacular. The Blink Dagger now online ensures no easy escape, no split push shenanigans. Hani is on the prowl. The police are out. Kaipi are now being sent home. It's their curfew. It's their time to back off. Maybe not. Bone 7 wants to jump in. The undercover Firefly will do it. He jumps in. He's caught Fly. Not that Naga. Song Holy down. Big ult from Arteezy. Unloads the souls. The Requiem drops. And now on the backside, it's Come With Me. TP's in. Picks off your Naga. If he gets rooted, it'll fall, but he gets lucky. He doesn't. Now the bear on the run. Flame braked and driven back. The orb comes through. They've taken 2. They want this bear as well. That's another 300 gold, and it goes to Eternal Envy. He finds ways to farm even when he's playing puck. Another TP being attempted by Come With Me, but Fnatic have gotten out safely. And Kaipi have decided they want to fight. There's now 2,300 gold up on Arteezy. We'll work towards this next item here. I mentioned the Manta style, but I think at this point, when you've already built a Daedalus, you just want to tank up more. Get a Satanic and just be that siege cannon. Stand and deliver. Dish out as much physical damage as humanly possible. And ensure that even if they net you, the only way you die is if you get scythed. And if you go Satanic, maybe you live through that, and then you turn the game around. Arteezy, however, will have to farm quite a bit to get that next item. The lead farmers in this game are still on the side of Fnatic. 17,000 net worth on a roaming, ganking Outworld Devourer for Hani. And he's going to walk right into Eternal Envy, or rather, oh no, it's Come With Me. Trapped at the rune, but Hani slowing the reactions. He wanted a double damage here. He's going to go down. Hani. Hani, I'm home. he's back to base for now. He blinked in. He tried to take a double damage rune, but Come With Me was quicker on the trigger finger there. He popped his Scythe device. He had an Observer Ward. In fact, I believe both teams had vision of that. I'm actually not sure if Come With Me was Shadow Bladed. I didn't get to see. By the time my camera came in, he's already attacking. That might have been the issue there. Eternal Envy's jumped in. He drops his Scythe device. He catches No Tail. Now a coil. Onto a few. The Ice Path comes through, and Come With Me wants to win this man fight, but No Tail is going to bring him down. They trade 1 for 1. Immediate buyback from that Prophet. Back into the fray he comes. Arteezy has been netted up. Now Blink. A BKB, a last one fly as well. Where's your Outworld Devourer when you need him? He hasn't joined the fight yet. Requiem being channeled by Arteezy. Gets disabled. Gets canceled. And he will go down. Now Eternal Envy trapped. He wants to blink away. Can he get out in time? He orbs. He doesn't blink. He tries to kill off the bear. He'll do it. But in comes big, bad Hani. He marches forward. He wants to find a kill. An Orchid, well-timed on mode 7 as he tries to escape. The Familiars give chase. They all pursue. 1 more auto attack should be enough. The OD ult from low ground to high ground. Finds the kill. And they're still hunting. They've isolated Eternal Envy. His orb has been used. His Blink Dagger not available. He phase shifts and tries to escape. He blinks. He will move north. And now, Hani blinks forward. Once more, over the top. Finds another kill. 4 dead now for Kaipi. Fnatic marching forward. Arrow apparently just hit level 16 or just skilled his ultimate. Might have misskilled here because it's on cooldown for 70 seconds. That's a bit unfortunate. Otherwise, he'd have Song of the Siren online for this upcoming clash. Fnatic are now looking to take their first racks of the game. No buybacks online except for Arteezy's. Choosing not to use it. 1 melee racks per fall. Fnatic immediately head top. They are going to force out a buyback. Kaipi cannot afford to give up 2. They're not even trading. No Tail is defending the dire tier 3 bottom while Fnatic take 2 lanes of racks. This could be it for game 1. Kaipi, they lost 0-2 to Fnatic last time around, and now they're in danger of losing at least game 1 of this best of 3. Bone 7 blinks in, immediately gets blown up. Never bothered to pop his BKB. That's their big initiator. The Bat Rider on the sidelines. It's all coming apart at the seams here for Kaipi. You gotta slay. A bit discombobulated. And I think Fnatic are just chuckling to themselves. You tried to beat us at our own game. Good luck, my friends. Very good luck. We are the masters of Rat Dota. We invented it, and we shall punish you with it. And right now, Fnatic are cruising. They've taken 2 lanes of racks. Come with me, split pushing for all he's worth. Larking on the high ground here. Summons some trance. Wants to make a go on Hani, but cannot sight them in time. He was outside of the Dire Ancients, on the ground above it. Would have been a bit dangerous, though. Would have been quite a bit dangerous. And now Fnatic are starting to cluster up. They want to take Roche at number 3. Remember, no Bat Rider available. He's going to be coming back in 13 seconds, but with a double damage on Trixie, Roche is not long for this world. And Trixie has spent a King's Ransom. He'll have a Scythe of Vice, or rather an Assault Cuirass. He'll have a Basher for his Bear. He's already got the Radiance, the Phase Boots. He is now your lead farmer. No longer it's a Zahani, and they've jumped in. Artesia unloads a Requiem. In pulls Bone 7. Another hero, but they have to run. That's too much damage. Hani's still alive. He's got the Aegis. Even if he dies once, he will live and be able to turn this around. Laguna pops the Aegis. Now a net. Holding, come with me in position, but he's standing and trying to auto-attack his way out. Too late. Not enough. He'll fall. 3 dead. More to follow. Pylai narrowly gets a stun. No TP. Just has a smoke. Good luck getting away from this one. And Kaipi are going to GG out. They have been defeated. 41 minutes in. Your final score, 27-10. An absolute thrashing. Fnatic play some fantastic Dota and make Kaipi look a bit silly here in the end. I do want to say I really enjoyed some of Hani's item selections this game. Boots of Travel, very smart pickup. The Blink Dagger worked really nicely because he saw what Kaipi wanted to do. Kaipi, they wanted to split push, they wanted to stall, and they wanted to angle for the ultra late game. They go for rather greedy items. They don't take many fights. And Fnatic punishes them. So great item selections by Hani. Smart usage of the Naga Siren ultimate by, was it Fly? No, it was Era on the Naga Siren. Using the Naga Siren ult and then TPing in, just the more efficient way. You don't have to channel that cast animation. You don't have that cast animation after you TP in. You immediately can start moving. Shift Q your move command towards the enemy target. It allowed them to find a few extra kills. It helped them take towers. It helped them take Roche. And I feel for Kaipi, if you run a Puck as your safe lane farmer, a Batrider as a jungler, and a Prophet as a 4 position, you need to take more fights. They sat back too passively, didn't engage enough, and Fnatic eventually just punished them for it. If you never take a fight with those aggressive initiators, you're just wasting the potential of your lineup. Overall, though, give credit where credit's due. Fnatic take game 1, and they do it in dominating fashion. We'll take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we'll be live with game 2 of this best of 3. Fnatic now leading the set. 1-0, you're watching the Corsair Summer Tour 2013 Group B action. Fnatic trying to make their way out of Group B as the 1 seed. I'm LD Beyond the Summit. If you enjoy my casting, you can follow me. Twitter.com/LDDota. But I'll be right back after these messages. The Corsair Summer Tour continues in a jiffy.